Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Star Wars Year by Podcast with me, Halls, and my buddy Steele. This is a Patreon exclusive show shared between both the Blue Harvest and Steel Wars Patreon pages. And this is a full on exclusive. The last one was all access. This is just for our good patrons.
Are you desperately trying to keep talking because you knew I couldn't talk at that time?
Yeah, I was trying to give you. I know you're having a tasty snack. I'm trying to get your back, buddy.
A view behind the curtain. How you doing, Hawes?
As good as can be expected. So pretty good.
That's up for interpretation. Like, how good can you expect to be? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to leave it nebulous like that.
Right.
I learned from Lost.
Oh, I learned so much from Lost. I'm loving it, Hawes. Hey,
How far are you in your rewatch now?
I'm getting towards, or we're getting towards the conclusion, or maybe we're in the middle of season 4.
Oh, yeah, that's a short season because of the writer's strike.
Ah, okay. Well, then maybe we're getting towards the end. I haven't really been keeping track.
Yeah, season 4, 5, and 6 are all shorter than season 1, 2, and 3, but 4 is the shortest because of the strike.
Well, maybe we're getting pretty close. I definitely remembering what happened at the end of the 4th season. I feel like those events are in motion, Hawes.
Well, what's going on? Like, where are you at storyline wise?
Well, I don't want to say too much.
Right, because there might be people that haven't watched or are
So-
in the middle of watching.
Kimmy, is that his name?
Kimi.
Kimi, the mercenary.
Yes.
He's just got back from the island for the first time, and he caused quite a stir.
What a dick, that guy.
Oh my god, the worst. But I'm just loving it. Loving
The
it.
finale of that season has one of my favorite fight scenes in Lost.
Ooh, okay. Look forward to that. But to the case in point, we are in 1981, page 96 for all our sickos, all our neens out there. And we are launching into May with a announcement of the Revenge of the Jedi director, and the photo on set that they used of Richard Marquand and George Lucas is Marquand's in an ATST driver outfit with the helmet on, and he's got his tongue out and is making a shocked face. His hands are in surprise, while George Lucas has got a megaphone in his ear telling him what to do. Very symbolic of their relationship, I feel.
Yes. And, man, George looks awesome in that picture, might I add. Man, he looks cool.
He's got that 80s glow.
You know, a couple of times I've almost impulse bought a megaphone for podcasting purposes, but...
What for that? Just that noise. That... Bang, bang, bang.
Well, the more like where you're like, hey, everybody. You know what? The noise, the voice distortion.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised if you're listening, if you're doing the dishes one day and you hear me break that out.
Oh, gosh. Your glass hits the ground.
He did it.
Damn it. Lucasfilm announces that Richard Marquand will direct Revenge of the Jedi. Marquand's few credits include The Legacy, 1978, the TV movie Birth of the Beatles, 1979, and the upcoming Eye of the Needle. Lucas hears advanced buzz for Needle, views an advanced rough cut, and is impressed that Marquand delivered the picture on time and on budget. In a 1983 interview with Omni magazine, he explains why he hired Marquand. He likes Star Wars. He wanted to work with me. Finally, it's a very good career move for him. He will be catapulted into the top directors category and his salary will skyrocket. What an bizarre, unexpected quote.
I do like that he's like, hey, man, he's going to get paid off of this. And, it's nice to hear George helping out King Tom's favorite Star Wars director.
And then in July, Eye of the Needle comes out. In June, Hawes. Got to give a shout out. June 9th, Natalie Portman, the future Padme Amidala, is born in Israel.
So her and Hayden are the exact same age.
True that. Well, not exact.
Well, like same. They were born the same year.
True that. Yeah, so happy birthday to Natalie Portman. Long may the Queen reign. This one, Hawes, I'm a huge fan. Hamill's Broadway debut. June 9th, Mark Hamill assumes the role of John Merrick in Bernard Pomerantz's play, The Elephant Man. Now, I remember when I learnt that, probably in the 90s, just being befuddled. Like how I'd seen The Elephant Man, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
How could he be played by Luke Skywalker?
Hey, you're talking to someone that was befuddled that Han Solo and Indiana Jones were the same actor. So I'm right along there with you, buddy.
He's reportedly appalled by the play's publicity department, which promotes his performance with the tag, "And the Force continues" on Broadway.
Hey, if anybody out there is listening and you're a con organizer and Mark Hamill is your guest, you should put on all the flyers. And the Force continues at Indianapolis Con.
It's Simpson-esque.
It is. It definitely is.
And like how rad a Star Wars collectible would be the Broadway poster for the Elephant Man with that quote on it.
Oh, it's got to be out there.
Oh, that would be terrific. Despite favourable reviews for Hamill's performance, the play closes on June 28th. So, a fairly short run.
That's even shorter than, that's way shorter than that failed Spider-Man on Broadway play that I wanted to see so bad.
The one that was like the action part of plays that everyone kept getting like breaking legs and stuff.
They injured like 6 or 7 Spider-Men through the course of that play.
That that gif of the Spider-Man pointing at the other Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That's them arguing over who has to go out next.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, dude. This bit is gnarly.
Next.
Phil broke his leg.
Have you ever been to a Broadway show?
Not on Broadway.
Not on Broadway. Yeah, same. Like we have this. They call it Birmingham or Broadway in Birmingham or something like that, where the touring shows come through town.
Gotcha.
So I saw the Book of Mormon here in Birmingham. So I saw a show, but not on Broadway.
Yeah, I'm the same. I saw Book of Mormon in Melbourne.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's definitely not your sort of traditional Broadway show, but I really enjoyed it. And afterwards, I was like, I want to see a bunch more of these. That was cool.
Yeah, I didn't get that tricked into it.
Yeah.
But I did see Hamilton at Pantages Theatre in LA, and that was exceptional. Hawes, you mentioned before how you struggled with Harrison Ford's dual roles in the 80s. June 12th, Raiders of the Lost Ark is released. Directed by Spielberg, executive produced by Lucas, the film stars Harrison Ford as adventurous archaeologist Indiana Jones. The screenplay is by Lawrence Kasdan, based on a story by Lucas and Philip Kaufman. Other Star Wars veterans on staff include Robert Watts, Norman Reynolds, John Williams, and Ben Burt. Raiders becomes the highest grossing movie of 1981. The boys can do no wrong.
Man, hit after hit.
And I'm sure I've mentioned this to you before, but much like yourself, I was confused by Indiana Jones. And I saw a picture of Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones in the newspaper, and I did ask my mum why Han Solo looked sick.
I don't know if I had that like facial blindness syndrome when I was a kid, but I didn't even put them together. And then like I would watch Indiana Jones and I'd watch Star Wars and it never even clicked like, oh, that's the same guy. And then my parents were like, that's Han Solo. Like then this was well into having watched the first two Indiana Jones a ton and the Star Wars trilogy a ton. And I was defiant. No, that's not, right? That's definitely not the same guy. And then sometime after that, I got one of those those quiz books, you know what I'm talking about? That's like sort of a pop culture quiz book. It had Star Wars stuff and comic stuff in it and things, and like word searches, like an activity book. And one of the question in it was, this actor portrays both Han Solo and Indiana Jones. And I got this book for a vacation.
And thus started Hawes' first book burning.
Yeah, for a vacation, like something to do while we're riding in the car. And I remember like reading that and like, when you read something or you hear something that blows your mind, how like it seems like all the sound around you is muffled, and like, I don't know, maybe it was my first anxiety attack.
Same actor. But God, those films are good.
Yeah, they are.
So good. And the ride. Have you been on the ride before, Hawes?
The one at Disneyland?
Yo.
Oh yeah.
That to me is what I imagined Disneyland was like.
Oh, when you were a kid, when you thought of Disneyland, that's what you thought of.
Yeah, that you just go on adventures.
I always remember seeing commercials for Universal Studios, and they had the King Kong ride that seemed like it had a life-size animatronic King Kong. And I was like, I have to see that. I have to go on that ride. And by the time I finally went to Universal, they didn't have it anymore.
Really? In LA they have it, yeah. But it's all it's all been...
It's sort of based off the Peter Jackson King Kong.
Yeah. And yeah, it's all like there's a you're sort of in one of those, what do they call it? The sound? Is that what they call it?
Oh, the volume?
The volume, that's it. Oh my gosh. At least I was in the right part of the thesaurus. Yeah, it's sort of like now there's like a screen behind it and stuff, like while you're on that little carriage thing. But anyway.
Okay.
I tell you what I also thought when I was little, and that sort of clicks into it. There's a bit of that Indiana Jones ride when you're on the Jeep and you come around a corner and you sort of see the entirety of the ride. Like you see all the other bits and the big temple that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I get to that bit in the ride, I'm just like, hell yeah, Disneyland. Hell yeah. This is what it's about. But the thing that shocked me was that they had fences. Like that I could see where the end of the park was. Like when you watched it on TV, it just seemed like that must be an endless expanse of land to fit all that good stuff in.
When we were in California a couple years ago and went to Disney, like Jesse, Will, and I, and rode the Indiana Jones ride. It got stuck
Oof.
next to one of the Indiana Jones animatronics.
Ah!
And so I just got to sit there for a few minutes and watch him loop the same actions over and over again. And it's all about perspective and like how quickly you go by the animatronics.
Mm.
But when you're sitting next to one, oh man, does it not look as good as it does when you're flying by it.
How long did you have nightmares for?
It was pretty nightmare inducing. You know what I really like? That Buzz Lightyear ride. Have you ridden that?
You don't know my Buzz Lightyear ride story.
Oh, I've got a really good one. Shall we trade? You first.
No, you first.
Okay. So we go on. We're at Disneyland, and we're looking at the phone to see like what the wait times are and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And we ride Star Tours first. We go on Hyperspace Mountain second. Me, I'm fine to just ride those two rides over and over all day.
I hear that.
But Jesse's there and Will's there, so we want to try and get as many Disneyland experiences in at a time. And I go, hey, I've heard the Buzz Lightyear ride is really good. And you know that scene in Back to the Future 2 when they're watching him play the arcade game and they're like, that's a baby's game.
Yeah.
That was Jesse's reaction to me saying I wanted to go on the Buzz Lightyear ride. And I was like, no, I think you'll dig it. Like you shoot a gun and you get a score and she was like, whatever, sign us up. So we go through the first time. She loves it. Like we got the picture, they take the picture of you and she's smiling bigger than the day I proposed in this picture. She's having a blast.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Whenever you're arguing over whether you should do something that you want to do you ever say, well, remember the Buzz Lightyear ride?
Yes, I do. So then we get to the end and the lady, so like there's a, when you're on the handicap ride, they send your cart on a special exit so you can get out into your chair. Well, we went on they sent us the wrong way. So she's like, I can back the ride up or I can just let you guys ride again if you want. So we're like, yeah,
ride
yes.
again. Ride again.
And then in a theme that followed us through, we got stuck on the Buzz Lightyear ride and stuck to the point where we could just sit there and shoot the same enemy over and over again. And our scores were just like rolling over super quick. And when we got to the end of the ride, our score was so much higher than the other riders because ours was the only cart that got stuck. Well, besides, the ones behind us, but everybody ahead of us didn't. So yeah, we got stuck on Buzz Lightyear and Indiana Jones.
So you must have won like the biggest teddy bear for that.
Yeah, I wish they gave out prizes. I would be Buzz Lightyear right now.
It is such a fun ride.
It is.
It's a must go on. Must go on. You get a little bit competitive after that. The person feels the first sting of defeat.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a rewrite. Come on, let's get back on it one more time for keeps. Let's go.
And typically, at least from what I understand and what we experienced, that's not one that has a crazy wait time either.
No, it is pretty quick. So it must have been about 5-6 years ago. But the clothing brand The Hundreds had their 10th anniversary. Do you know that brand with the Adam?
I do.
Yeah, okay. So I was distributing it in Australia. So we'd market and sell it in Australia, be their sort of reps sort of thing. And so I was over for their 10th anniversary party, which was held in Tomorrowland at Disneyland.
Ooh.
A private party from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And there's sort of like a retro, like a Jetsons style pizza shop that's sort of next to Hyperspace Mountain or whatever. Well, that was turned into a big bar. And then there was a lot of sort of action sports, like hip hop celebrities, like in that bar and stuff. And because we were VIPs, because we were distributors, we had like bracelets to go into that bar. So it was like alcohol at Disneyland, which was just amazing. And then the wristbands that we had got us to the front of all the lines, which weren't even that full anyway, because it was just people invited to this party, a couple thousand people. But security was quite lax because it was a private party and they didn't expect all these, normally it's like some corporate party, not a bunch of skateboarders and streetwear kids. So it was so weird to smell weed at Disneyland.
Oh, you should go to Disneyland with me.
But me and my friend Jesse, who was the distributor in Amsterdam, we were very intoxicated. And we got on the Buzz Lightyear ride. And at the start, you go around and you see the life-size Buzz Lightyear.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Oh, Steele, get a photo with me and Buzz." And he jumps off the ride over the rail and hugs the full-size Buzz Lightyear. I get the photo, and then he jumps back in, and nothing happens to him because there's no security.
Oh, wow.
So I'll send you a link. It's on my Instagram a few years back, but I do have photographic evidence of the Buzz Lightyear hug.
I can hear your reaction to this. You know what I mean? Like, I can... Like, the story, you told the story well, and knowing you and having listened to you so much through your podcast and stuff, I see the story in my head and I hear the sound effect.
Was pretty good. And I rode Star Tours, I think it was like 15 times that night.
Oh, man.
Rode it by me and a Disney employee at about 11:55. No, 1:55. I meant to say 5 minutes before they shut. It was a good time. But July 31st of 1981, The Empire Strikes Back is re-released for the first time. By October, Variety reports that the top 4 box office champs are Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, Jaws, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. The boys.
Man.
Oh, actually, should we talk about this poster, Hawes? It is the Empire Strikes Back theatrical re-release poster by Tom Jung, and it is a primarily black poster with the top half featuring an inserted block of a pretty stylized Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm. With like his cloak draped across his chest.
Yeah, Tatooine poncho style, and his mask is a bit out of whack, but then some pretty nice work with Lando, Luke, very good work with Yoda, Han and Leia, and a pretty cool sort of exploding AT-AT sort of thing at the front. And interestingly, up in space, there's some
I don't like it.
Odd-shaped snow speeders in a fleet drifting up to space. I guess if you needed to, you could say they were flying at nighttime on Hoth.
Oh, okay. There we go. There's the explanation.
But when I look at this Vader mask up close, oh, it's bad.
Yeah, so it looks like a Vader candle that's been left on a windowsill.
It does have like Mexican bootleg vibe about it. The I like, despite the Vader art, I don't like it when it's not full frame. Like, I don't like how most of the poster's black, which was with the Last Jedi. No, The Rise of Skywalker. God. How they did that in the white border, I was just like, no, make it go to the edges. To the edges, damn it.
Yeah. Well, what about it wasn't the final poster, but the Last Jedi poster that they gave out at Celebration and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
But it goes all the way to the border. It's not like, it doesn't have a black border around like that white background. So I guess it wouldn't apply.
Yeah, that poster is interesting because when I've seen it blown up bigger Because the post they gave up at Celebration was sort of like the size of this book on its side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I think I've seen it like, you know, in Kmart or whatever as like a $9 poster and blown up to the bigger size, there's too much white on it.
Yeah, I really like because I got that one framed, the one they gave out at Celebration, and having it framed with like a mat and stuff, it looks really nice. But I could see how a larger scale version of that wouldn't work so well.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about that size. It looks, it's a good poster size. I like it. Would you like to introduce us to Shira Bree, Hawes?
Yeah, October 20th. Star Wars number 56 ships, written by David Michelinin and illustrated by Walt Simonson and Tom Palmer. Coffin in the Clouds introduces a female rebel pilot, Lieutenant Shira Bree, a new romantic interest for Luke Skywalker and an apparent source of concern for Princess Leia. In the following issues, Shira's last name is spelled Brie, a change that sticks. In subsequent issues, Shira claims that she joined the rebellion after her entire family was slaughtered by the Empire on the planet Shalavane.
Shalavane. What does it mean? In subsequent issues, Shira claims that she joined the rebellion.
I don't really know. Does that turn out to be not the case?
All right. Well, we've got some little snippets here from the comic. Maybe we can find out what happens. So, Hawes, you can play Leia.
Okay.
I'll play Luke and Shira.
Sounds perfect.
All right, so they're meeting in some sort of. It looks like they've just gotten out of their X-wings. Luke and Shira are in their X-wing outfits, and Leia's just rocking a white turtleneck.
And I got to say, in that picture of them standing next to each other, they look like conjoined twins.
The two X-wing pilots.
Yeah,
it does look like some Masters of the Universe multi-head or something.
Okay, so I'll kick it off. Hold on. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my... All right. I'm making another run on the perimeter and could use a co-pilot. Interested?
Well, I would be, but Lando hasn't reported in from Bespin yet, and I'm a little worried. So Shira and I are going to see if he's okay.
Oh? Well, that was very kind of you to volunteer, Lieutenant Bray. I know Commander Skywalker will appreciate your companionship.
I try to please, Princess.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
Ooh. There's no hotter place than whatever the Rebel base is. No hotter place than the Rebel base. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. That is some good intrigue. Have you been aware of Shira before? Or is this
not super familiar now.
Okay. Now in November, there's these films in the 80s that would be somehow have a connection to Star Wars, like through actors or, you know, that you'd be so gagging for content. It's just like, I'm going to watch R2-D2 in a different movie. Do you know what I mean? At least I'll be having like a dash of Star Wars. And this is one of those. Time Bandits. November 6th. Time Bandits is released, directed by Terry Gilliam. The movie stars John Cleese, Sean Connery, and features Star Wars and Empire actors Kenny Baker, R2-D2, Jack Purvis, Chief Jawa and Chief Ugnaught, and Declan Mulholland, cutscene Jabba. Oh my God, the original Jabba!
Oh, fur coat Jabba.
Woo! Sweet action. But I definitely watched this in my early 90s search for Star Wars-ish things to fulfill my life. But I've got zero memories of what is contained.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie, but I couldn't tell you one thing about it.
Memorable.
It's like there's another movie I feel like is from the same sort of era called Ice Pirates, I think it's what it's called.
Yes! That's like one that I know the box art from the video shop.
Yep.
But I'm sure if I watched it, there'd be some jogging memory. I'd be like, oh, I remember that. But yeah, Ice Pirates. All those the posters in the video shop for all like the Star Wars clones were so promising. Few lived up to the expectations that their amazing box art set.
Man, box art used to be the art form of video rental success. Man, a box art could sell you on a bad movie.
Son, it could make or break you. What about when they'd have like the enhanced box? There was
like the clamshell.
Yeah, there was. You guys had different boxes here. All ours were in plastic cases.
So all of yours were like clamshell. Ours were slip covers. Primarily.
Yeah, see, that's very rare in Australia. We all had the big plastic clip-on covers. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if that was due to. This is my theorizing. I reckon this could be the case that Australia had to have different covers for our different video format, etc. And the numbers we were doing made it more cost effective just to have hundreds of thousands of plastic covers that you could just slip videos in rather than making separate boxes for each different video.
Oh, because was it like because the artwork wasn't printed on the case, huh?
No, it was
the
just
artwork was printed out and then slid in between the case and like a clear vinyl cover.
True that.
Like almost like a Trapper Keeper or like a binder has that thing you can slip. Okay.
Yeah, like an old like a cassette tape cover almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, when the ones that you see here, which are in the boxes that are all printed, they are very unique. To me, not to you.
Right.
But we would have some, and I'm not sure if they had them here because of the box style, but they'd have enhancements. I remember there was one that had, I can't remember what film it was. It was a horror film, and it had a blue glob of liquid on the front to enhance the image, make it more hireable.
So I remember a few sort of gimmicky box like video packaging like that, but they would be more like a sort of a 3D effect sometimes, and they would typically only be for the display. So I remember like maybe it was one of the Night of the Living Dead or Return of the Living Dead movies, like the cover had, or maybe even like some rip-off zombie movie had like a tombstone on it and then had a 3D cardboard hand coming up out of the ground.
Love it.
But that was more of like a display box. Like I don't think that was something you could get just off the shelf.
Okay. Because it used to be so much more back then. Like I've just never heard of this movie, but look at the box. Because it's like,
big time.
Because it's like, where are you going to hear about movies? At the water cooler? I don't think so. Man, I'm really want to walk around my old video shop now. It's now a forest.
Oh. You know, my old video shop that I got my dad and banned from, Movie Time Video, the sign is still up. It still says movie time video, but like when you drive by, it just seems like it's nothing but storage. There's just a bunch of junk stored in there. But man, I would go for a walk around in there if I could.
Good times in the video shop. Good times. It's very odd to think that in those days, like if you want to watch, like, say The Godfather, there's only one person that can watch The Godfather in town that night.
Yeah, unless it's a new release, and then depending on your town, 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, I remember when our video shop, it might have been Crocodile Dundee, they got multiple in and just like going, whoa. Whoa, there's 3 of them.
You know what I used to annoy the crap out of my parents with was so like we'd be going to movie time video and they'd be like, please make it quick this time. I'd be like, I promise, I'll be fast. And whether it was going to rent a Nintendo game or a movie, it was never a fast process. And there would inevitably be a part where I would go to the front counter and ask them what had been turned in that they haven't put on the shelves yet. And that annoyed my parents to no end.
You got to know, though.
Yeah, because what if, Super Mario 3 finally got returned, and they just haven't had a chance to put it out yet?
Hell yeah. You got to, as I said, you got to protect your neck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Said that last episode, right? So keep at it. Protect that neck. But then I feel like towards, in Australia anyway, towards the end of the 80s, they got more into the multiple. Like,
oh, yeah. And then by the time Blockbuster came around, they were the kings of multiple copies of movies.
Yeah, like sometimes you'd feel like they've only got 20 different movies.
Yeah.
So many of them. All right, Hawes. As we come to the close of 1981.
One of the greatest toys ever manufactured, also in 1981, the AT-AT or AT-AT, if you're nasty. Kenner releases an AT-AT toy. With many movable parts and priced at nearly $50, the Imperial Walker is one of the more expensive Star Wars collectibles on the market. Because of the price tag, relatively few AT-ATs are sold.
I like the capture. There's a photo of an AT-AT out of the box, and then there's a boxed photo. And under the boxed photo, the little caption is, the AT-AT comes with 2 chin-chin guns.
Perfect.
But on the photo of the loose AT-AT, it does not have chin-chin guns.
The chin guns, which, to be fair, are notoriously hard to find or to keep in nice condition.
I got them, buddy. My one's packing them. And it's also missing the little whiskers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure where they're getting there. They're not going down to Rancho Obi-Wan to shoot that incomplete mess.
I bet you if they turn that around, it's missing the side door too.
Oh, brutal. Hawes.
Yes, sir.
1981, priced at nearly $50.
In today's money, $141.03.
Fair price.
I would say so. I just spent close to that equivalent on the new vintage collection Slave One.
Ah.
So and it's huge. So I would say that's pretty accurate.
So is that a new sculpt or just a repaint? Nice.
Of the vintage, it is not a repaint of the original Kenner one.
Oh no, I definitely know that.
Okay.
But is this like a reissue of a reinterpretation, or is it brand new?
That I'm not quite sure of, because, they've definitely done the vintage collection Slave One before, like a few years ago. But it does have, I was comparing it with my buddy Tracy's, who he got his when it originally came out the first time. And there are some differences. Like this one comes with like a nice clear plastic stand that holds it in its upright position.
Oh, tight.
It's also got the seismic charges that clip into the underside of the ship
Ooh.
that you can launch out with the press of a button. I don't know if the original one had that or not. So I'm not quite sure what the differences are, but since I missed out on that original one, I pre-ordered this thing. I'm looking at it right now. It's awesome. I pre-ordered this thing as soon as it went up.
Did you know any AT-AT owners?
No.
Nor did I.
Yeah, I think the first time I got an AT-AT was like the Power of the Force 2 AT-AT when it came out.
Oh, what a treat. The little, like, they had the little light up message center in the belly.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little snow trooper reporting in to General Veers or something. Oh, great stuff. Great stuff. Apparently, the AT-AT was included in that one Endor scene to help sort of keep pushing the toy. They had to put it back in just to, because it was so expensive to make.
Is that, wow. Man, I did not know that.
I'm pretty sure it's true.
I mean, it would make a lot of sense. I mean, they even cite in this book that relatively few were sold because of its price.
But what a beast. What a, like that new AT-AT that they did, the bigger one. Like, it's sick, but it seems out of proportion to me because
of the original.
Yeah. Like, I understand that in The Empire Strikes Back, they're very tall and narrow, but they're just the stumpy little dog to me.
Such a good toy, man. One of the best, not just Star Wars toys, one of the best vehicles ever created, the AT-AT.
Without question. Without question. That brings us to the end of 81, Hawes.
Yeah, buddy.
And, you know, I love to sizzle. The 1982, we're filming The Return of the Jedi.
Woo, there's some good stuff coming. I'm looking forward to that, man.
Dude, that's my ears.
Oh,
they're my ears.
One of my favorite cut from the movies characters gets a shout out on page 99.
Oh, yeah, nice. How does she...
Yeah.
Okay, we can't do that now.
Yeah.
But thank you to our patrons for supporting our shows. I hope you enjoyed our little trip through 1981. I did. Thanks for making time for it, Hawes. Great fun.
Indeed. Thanks for working around my schedule this week.
It is relatively easy to do. Now, if you don't already, give us a follow at Steele Wars on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, podcasting areas. Steele Wars. Hawes?
At Blue Harvest Pod on Twitter and Instagram and all those good places. Twitch. And Blue Harvest on any of your podcast services.
Ignite the green, harvest the blue.
Hey, I like that.
Nice. Well, thanks, Hawes. Thank you to all the patrons, and may that force be with you.
See you guys.